This is the brand new Acer Triton 14AI, and when I first saw this thing at Computex 2025, I knew right away I had to review it because this is easily, hands down, one of the most interesting 14-inch gaming laptops released this year. Acer nailed a lot of things here, but there are also a few choices that will probably turn a lot of people off. Now, before I dive in, quick reminder, 80% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. If that's you, hit that button. It really helps the channel and you won't miss other awesome reviews like this. Now, from a design standpoint, this is one of the most attractive 14-inch gaming laptops out there. It's beautifully made. Acer really stepped up the build quality this year. The entire chassis is aluminum. It feels premium and solid. And yes, the black finish picks up fingerprints like crazy, but it's still light at just 3.5 pounds, thin, portable, and easy to carry. The edges are slightly chiseled, giving it a sharp, modern look, but a little sharp when being held. And yes, the Predator logo lights up on the front. Ports are pretty solid because on the left-hand side, you have your USB Type-C port. This is Thunderbolt 4, USB-A 3.2, and your combo audio jack. On the other side, you have a full-size HDMI port, 2.1, another USB-A port, Type-C, this is not Thunderbolt, and a micro SD card slot. But once you open it up, and by the way, you can obviously do it with one hand, that's where the magic starts to begin because this keyboard is amazing. It's honestly one of the best that Acer has ever built. The keys are nice and tactile, they're clicky and super satisfying to type on. Plus, it's rocking mini LED RGB, so the lighting absolutely pops. There's even a glowing logo above the keyboard. You can customize it. It's another nice touch. But the real big change this year, at least compared to other 14-inch gaming laptops, is the haptic touchpad. It's a full-size glass haptic touchpad. It's not mechanical, so if you've ever used a MacBook Pro, you know how much better haptic feedback feels. Acer's version isn't quite MacBook level, but it's a big step up from mechanical click pads that we're used to on Windows laptops. Now, the entire glass area is not all touch friendly, only the area between the lines, which by the way, do light up and act as a border, letting you know where the touch portion of the touchpad exists. But here's the most interesting thing. The touchpad doubles as a stylus surface. That's right, Acer includes a MPP 2.0 stylus in the box, and you can literally write or sketch right on the touchpad. Now, it's not a massive drawing area, more for quick notes, signatures, or touch-ups, but still a unique idea that might appeal to some people, but definitely not all. That said, it's a bit awkward drawing down here, while the results happen up there on the screen. It's clever, just not the most natural workflow for someone who wants to sketch a full-blown picture. Now, up next is this OLED display. It's absolutely gorgeous. 120 Hz, vibrant colors, deep blacks, and G-Sync support. Yes, it's glossy and a bit reflective, but man, everything on it looks amazing. Movies, games, even spreadsheets, it just pops. Color accuracy and color gamut is exceptional. Plus, it's also a touch display, just not a touch display that supports a stylus. Now, here's where things get interesting and maybe a little confusing. Inside, Acer went with Intel's Core Ultra 9 288V, which is part of the Lunar Lake lineup, and that's a very unusual choice for a gaming laptop because Lunar Lake is built for ultra-thin efficiency laptops, not performance-heavy machines with dedicated GPUs. Compared to something with an AMD HX 3070 or Intel's Arrow Lake H chips, it's just not as powerful, especially in multi-core performance. Like, don't get me wrong, single-core performance is great, sure, but once you hit multi-core workloads, things like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, coding, it starts to fall behind. But here's the thing, if you're a gamer who also does creative work or development, you're going to notice that hit in performance. It just doesn't have the multi-core chops that more beefier gaming CPUs currently have. But here's the good thing, in gaming, it's actually not bad. Like, this model does use an RTX 5070 GPU, not my favorite, you know, because they're limiting the VRAM to 8 GB, and it's also very similar to the RTX 4070, but it kind of gets the job done. You'll obviously have to tweak the settings though. Like at full 3K resolution, which is what this display can support, newer AAA titles will struggle. You'll often have to drop down to 2560 by 1600 or even 1920 by 1200 for smoother performance. This goes for most RTX 5070s in laptops. In games like Arc Raiders or Battlefield 6 RedSec, 3K is obviously too demanding. You'll get way better results with DLSS Super Resolution if it supports it, and by lowering the settings to fine-tune the experience. There is one note, the 5070 here caps out at 110 watts. And the CPU also caps out around 40, whereas these other CPUs from other 14-inch laptops usually go higher up to the 60s. Now, the Razer Blade pushes 120 watts. That's a 10-watt difference. And it might sound small, but we're talking about anywhere from a 2 to 20 FPS more, depending on the game you're playing. The trade-off, though, is that the CPU does run cooler thanks to Lunar Lake's efficiency, but don't expect miracles. It still gets loud under full load. Turbo mode, with the fans on auto, hits around 60 decibels, which is pretty loud for a 14-inch gaming laptop like this. Other 14-inch laptops usually top out in the mid-50s using their most demanding profile. And yes, there is a muck switch, and popping it into eco mode when on battery automatically reduces the refresh rate to 60 Hz to help save battery life. Now, there is kind of another benefit to using an Intel chip and also limiting it to 110 watts, is that the power supply, or the adapter rather, that comes with it is ridiculously small. Like, this thing is light. It's 140 watts and it's USB Type-C, so no proprietary connectors. Okay, so right now you're looking at the front-facing camera on the Acer Triton 14AI 1080p. The day is actually quite gloomy, quite dark, so this is a good test for it. I'm using nothing but natural light. You guys let me know how it looks and how do the microphones sound. Also, Acer packed 6 speakers into this thing, which on paper sounds amazing, but in practice they're not. They're loud and clear, sure, but there's no bass or warmth, just highs. Compared to the G14 or Razer Blade 14, these sound thin and flat. It's like Acer keeps forgetting that good speakers matter on premium laptops. Now I'm gonna do a little comparison against the Asus G14, and you guys let me know which one sounds better. Now, getting in was super easy, and once you're in, you're presented by the vapor chamber cooler going back and forth with 2 big fans using Acer's AeroBlade technology. And they're also using some sort of graphene solution on the CPU to keep it nice and cool, which is supposed to help reduce heat better than the standard liquid metal that we're used to. Swappable Wi-Fi card. Don't know why you'd want to swap it out. It's brand new, but you can if it ever does break down. You have 1 drive slot, which is upgradable to something bigger if you want more storage. RAM is obviously soldered onto the motherboard. Battery is 74 watt hours, which is a decent size. And because you're using a Lunar Lake processor, there's more efficiency there. Does it beat out the competition? No, but it still offers very respectable battery life overall. So here's the bottom line. I love this laptop's concept. It's premium, it's creative, it's forward thinking, but that CPU choice kind of holds it back. And yes, there are some benefits like the smaller power brick and obviously more efficiency, but at $2,500 USD, it's actually more expensive than the Asus G14 and the Razer Blade 14, which is crazy because usually nothing is cheaper than a Razer laptop. And that's tough to justify when you're getting weaker performance and mediocre speakers. Yes, you get a haptic touchpad, a stylus, a touchscreen, all cool features, which do cost more than the standard laptop. But not everybody needs them, especially if it means paying more and getting less power in a similar form factor to the competition. So right now, it's really tough to sell because of that price point. But if this thing ever goes on sale, Acer refines the formula, maybe swaps in an Arrow Lake CPU and a 5070 Ti, then the Triton 14 could easily become one of the best compact gaming laptops on the market, period. So Acer, keep this design, tweak the internals, tune the price, and I promise in 2026 this could be the one to beat.